All right. Welcome to the Scorched Earth Sports Podcast. One of our last days here before we head over to Off the Rails and get to do it today with brother Scott. And I did one yesterday with Brian. And I'll tell you, there's such a different energy in the room when I get to work off them. They're both so knowledgeable and talented, and I really like the rapport. You know, doing it solo like this, it's cool. I really enjoy it, but it's kind of like if you've listened to the couple podcasts I've done with Scott, that Scott does a much better job of waiting for the moment, and me, after doing so many of these, I try and fill the dead air. If there's dead air, I don't let it come to him. So I'm trying to get better with that. Hopefully I will. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm negotiating to have a special guest. It's going to be for the gambling aspect of March Madness starting for the next couple weeks, which, like Scott and I talked about the other day, I think it's actually my favorite sporting event that's well known. I think actually the NCAA baseball tournament is actually the best one that goes on, but nobody watches it, so who cares, right? If it's not on social media or it's not out there on ESPN, it really doesn't exist. It will. I do think we're going to see the evolution of that, though, because there's so much pressure and competition for sports rights. I do have a funny feeling we're going to start to see a lot of these games start to fill the spaces on Fox, CBS, ESPN, you know, just the multitude of different sports venues we have. Okay, if you could, hit the like and subscribe button, even though we're going to be leaving this space. We'll still do the politics. I'll still do some life stuff. I enjoy do that. We'll start working on shorts. We're building up this ecosystem. I'm really lucky. You know, we've had to overcome a lot of technical issues. There's so much stuff that goes on, even in this era. Super producer Stacy has really helped me a lot. This honestly, you know, and this may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing, is I wouldn't be talking to you without her. You know, she's the one who's figured a way around literally 50 different problems. And it seems like every time you solve one, two more pop up. But off we go. Like I said, leave some comments, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And away we go. NFL, DeMarcus Lawrence. He left Dallas for Seattle, 3-year deal. Seems like he didn't, you know, when he left, though, he decided to put a couple parting shots across the bow of the Titanic. He took jabs at Micah Parsons, said that, you know, that they weren't going to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of years. Obviously, Micah didn't take that very well. Excuse me. I got a little itch. And Micah fired back. And DeMarcus, you know, it's funny. I've listened to the Micah Parsons podcast, and it's just terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. And maybe there's an audience, but it's only because he's a star. And if he thinks he's going to be some media king like Charles Barkley, boy, you better get a personality transplant because, dude, you suck. That dude really sucks. All he does is just talk S. That's it, man, you know? And at the end of the day, when you don't win, you can't do that kind of stuff. You don't get away with it. You could be a great player, but you know what? It's just one hit. You know, RG3, and then it's all over. You better get paid. And I do not for the life of me understand why the Cowboys aren't signing this guy up. You know, we thought that $35 million was going to be the amount of money he's going to get made. You know, the Max Crosby deal with Vegas. And then, you know, we wait a couple days and then it's $40 million with Myles Garrett. You know, if I was Micah Parsons people, I'd just keep waiting. That's fine. It's going to be 45 in a couple months. Don't worry about it because somebody else is going to sign. I don't know who, but somebody's going to sign, right? So I think DeMarcus Lawrence is absolutely right. I think Dallas is not going to be winning a Super Bowl in the near future. I mean, look what they're looking up at. How are they going to get past Philadelphia? And then Washington is really starting to make a run because they got the quarterback on the rookie contract. They are adding a lot of good players. Laramie Tunsil. I mean, they are starting to load up because they have that capability. They're taking their shot because in 2 years they're going to have to pay Jaden Daniels. And boy, there is probably the first $70 million a year quarterback, and the kid's going to deserve it. It's like I tell you, and I'm guilty of this too, is you take the top 5 first and second year quarterbacks in the NFL, and last year, C.J. Stroud, 2 years ago, let's put it that way. 2 years ago, he was the boy wonder. He was the guy. Led Texas to the playoffs, led them to a victory, blah, blah, blah. And then he had a down year last year. Bryce Young, down year. I'm going to tell you, whoever the 5 best quarterbacks are, let's take the Caleb Williams. Let's take the Jaden Daniels. Let's take the Drake May. And I'm not sold on Drake May. And let's say J.J. McCarthy. And let's say Bo Nix. Okay? Only 2 of those guys are going to be starting in 4 years. I'm telling you. And I don't know who. I'm not going into the magic bag and trying to figure out who it is. But I'm just telling you, the way it goes is when they hit a wall, then the fans start to revolt. They don't sit there and go, oh, okay, now we're 10-7. No, that's not what people say. Seattle went 10-7 last year. They couldn't get rid of Geno Smith quick enough. They said he wasn't a $45 million a year quarterback. Okay, you got Sam Darnold. And look, you're going to pay, okay, you won on the cheap. You got him for $10 million a year less. Yeah, he's 27. If you really want to look me in the eye and tell me you want to win a Super Bowl, you think you're going to win it with Sam Darnold over Geno Smith, and I'm not sitting here waxing poetically that Geno Smith is this next big wonderkind. He's Patrick Mahomes light or Josh Allen light or Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that. But if you literally had to put your life on the line for a quarterback to lead you to a Super Bowl, I can't get in that vehicle quick enough with Geno Smith. The guy is a better quarterback. He straight up is. Now, you could say what you want, but Pete Carroll did the right thing. Get that guy for the pick. Let's go. We don't have to wait here for 5 years. Sam Darnold, he's going to a team with no wide receivers, a terrible offensive line. He is going to get the blame. I'm telling you, a year from now, they're going to cut the guy. I'm telling you, it's just setting it up like that. And they're going to draft a rookie. They're going to let him sit. But, that's the biggest fallacy in the NFL. They always say, oh, we're going to get a quarterback, and then we're going to let him sit. Yeah. And then when you start out 1-3, everybody's clamoring at the gate. Get the rookie in there. We got nothing to lose. That's what happened to Anthony Richardson. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Anthony Richardson, if they would have gave that guy a year behind Joe Flacco, let's just say hypothetically, he might be able to make it. That guy's done. Daniel Jones just signed on as a backup there. They are going to compete with each other. I don't know where it ends up, but if you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. You got nothing. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. We're one hit away from basically becoming an expansion franchise. Wow, great. We got a future here. Stupid. And obviously there's things that go on that I'm not aware of. And I'll never understand what GMs and why they sign the quarterbacks they do. I mean, really, why did the Dolphins not have a really good backup who is like Tua? Don't give me the guy who's the opposite. Give me Tua. Give me somebody like that who's in the system, who understands the system. So when you get, quote unquote, let's just say hypothetically, you get the Joe Flacco, the guy who's the real stand back guy, he's not the quick release. He's a little more patient. Well, okay, you don't have to redo the whole offense in game 6 for the rest of the year. We saw where that train wreck went last year. They should have been a playoff team last year if they would have just had a good backup quarterback. Pay the $10 million. I'm even going to say Gardner Minshew might have got 1 or 2 more victories. All right, the NBA, Steph Curry. He got his 4,000th career three-pointer. Love Steph. Just such a wonderful player. a joy. I will say that Jimmy Butler thing is working amazingly. I didn't think it would. Boy, they could be a threat. I don't honestly see them being a threat to OKC. To me, the only team I see out there that can beat OKC is Denver and Minnesota. That's it. That's where I'm laying it down. Maybe the Lakers, but I'm not buying it. The Lakers can beat them if it's in round one. If they have to wait, if they have to play 6, 7 tough games before they get to those guys, nah, not going to happen. Maybe when LeBron's gone and Luka really runs the team, then they can figure that out, get some wings, whatever that is. NCAA, Cooper Flagg, probably going to be your player of the year. He hurt himself, taken out. They say he's a long shot for the ACC semis. Personally, you're going to get a number 1 seed. Doesn't really matter if you win or lose. So why are you playing him till the tournament? Let the kid rest for a week. It's stupid. Why have him go on there in a tender chicken wing to next Thursday or next Friday? It's just stupid. All right. Oh, one more thing from the NBA. Paul George is mulling surgery. I don't even know why they don't shut him down. You don't need to limp into the playoffs. It's over. Embiid's over. Let's just shut it down, try and get healthy, and try and make a run at it next year. Let's get back to the NCAA basketball. Texas fighting for a win. Big double overtime win against Texas A&M. If they get a bid, it'll probably be the 14th team from the SEC. Wow. 14 out of 64. Holy hell. I looked at the odds. They went from, will an SEC team win the NCAA title? They went from plus 150 to minus $1.25. Everybody is loading up on it. I really think you could see 3 teams in the Final Four from the SEC. And even if 2, minus $1.25, that's a deal. That's a real deal. The prior history of the most bids from one conference was 2011 in the Big East. SEC, man, what a year you're having. Some scores from Thursday night. Texas Tech beat Baylor. I thought Baylor really had a shot here. I like Scott Drew. I like Baylor, but didn't happen. BYU beat my pick to win the NCAA tournament, one of them. Iowa State. Love Iowa State. BYU is just playing so damn well. They are so under the radar. I think you're looking at making the Final 8. I think that is on the board. Kentucky beat Oklahoma in the SEC, 85-84. Kentucky just finding a way to win. I don't think they're going to get out of the first weekend, though. Let's see. Like I said, Texas beat A&M. Clemson, my sleeper pick in the ACC, beat SMU barely, 57-54. We shall see who arrives. Monday's going to be a nice podcast with Scott, talking about the tournament, talking about NASCAR. It's going to be something really cool. Let's get back to golf. The first round of the players is in the books. Lucas Glover, your leader, -6. JJ Spawn, -6. Camilo Villegas, -6. I can't believe he's still on tour. I guess you're making a lot of money. How is this guy still in the top 125? I guess the guy's just a grinder. What are you going to say? McIlroy's 1 back, 5 under. That's the guy to worry about. It did come out that he was heckled on Tuesday by a University of Texas golfer, Luke Potter. On the 18th hole, he hit one into the water, and he started getting heckled by this golfer. Okay, about the 2011 Masters where Rory melted down on the back 9. And I remember that. He was teeing off on 10, and he hit the ball, and he pulled it, and he was in some guy's backyard. And I remember the announcers saying, I've never seen a golfer over there. And, unfortunately, it was the beginning of the end for Rory. I think he shot a 40 on the back 9 there. And believe me, the back 9 at Augusta is the most important 9 holes you'll play all year. I still think, in 2018, Francesco Molinari had the lead, and then he went to the 12th hole and hit one in the water, and literally his career was never the same. And I got a lot of empathy. These guys, it's tough what they do. They are literally on the razor's edge. And Rory McIlroy, for all you people who bet, do not bet him at the Masters. That's just not his tournament. Yeah, he may win one, but I'm telling you, you're just going to be burning money there. That is just not the course for him. There's demons in his head about that tournament. I mean, he may be 6 back on Sunday and then, shoot his 65, 66 and only lose by 1 or 2 like he did a couple years ago where he holed out from the bunker on 18. Look, the guy's a great golfer. Okay, I have nothing but the ultimate respect. But Augusta is not his tournament. I wish he would get it so he can have the career Grand Slam, but there's guys who are made for that course. Phil Mickelson was made for that course. Tiger was made for that course. Bubba Watson was made for that course. Rory's just not that guy. At 3 under, we got Scheffler and Cantlay. 2, we got Morikawa. 1, we got Oberg. I like Oberg. I really like Oberg. Lowry, my boy Lowry and Schauffele, they're at even par. We're going to see what happens. It should be a really, really good tournament. Catch it on Golf Channel. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button for the last few moments that we are on this channel. And leave your comments. Tell me who you think is going to win the Players' Championship or even who's going to win the ACC or Big 12. Those are up in the air, especially with Cooper Flagg being out and injured. All right. You take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.